Why does that music stop?
Yes, indeed. What's up, everybody? We are back. My colleague, my friend Bill Apter, and I am Dr. Chris. We're here for yet another episode of Unscripted. Listen, it's Tuesday nights. You know what that means. And we're going to have some fun. Of course, like we do with this this kind of a updated format, we're going to take, of course, like we do every single week, super chat to get you on the screen, and we're going to look over to this to the chat. And this is unscripted, so it's just Bill and I just having fun chatting about today's topics. That's going to be prompted by you, the fans, you, the SK Nation, you, the chat.
All of you, and you too.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and especially you. Wasn't that a theme song? And you, yeah, and especially
when I was a little kid.
Wasn't that like Lamb Chops Play Along?
I don't know, but when I was a little kid, there was a group called the Ames Brothers.
Okay.
We had a 78 RPM record, and they sang you, I'm in love with you. Oh. Boy, oh boy.
I like it. Okay.
Well, since we're unscripted, I just spent about an hour, and this will be exclusive to, most of it exclusive to Sportskeeda, with Ricky Morton from Rock and Roll Express.
Very nice.
You remember that picture of him backstage with CM Punk?
I heard about it. I heard about the
it went viral, and we had a nice long talk about that.
Yeah,
so it'll be coming up on Sportskeeda somewhere in the near future.
Both of us were all together in Chillicothe about a couple of months ago, right? You and Ricky Morton, yeah.
And I will be back there on September 30th.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I might be there. That's the weekend of my my anniversary with my wife. But we're actually.
That's why I missed the SICW one in St. Louis. Not the anniversary of your wife, but it was the anniversary
of your wife. Yes, indeed. How many years?
40.
Ooh, very nice.
Very nice. No applause. Throw money.
Give me three big tips when it comes to marriage, of how to maintain a marriage for 40 years. Now, here's the thing, because I'm a therapist, so I do couples therapy. A huge chunk of my clients is couples therapy. So when people say a long number, I almost always ask this question as a follow-up. I say, wonderful, 40 years. Okay, how many of those were you happily married?
So,
All right, that's all I need.
we're live, right?
Yes, we're live, pal.
People ask me what the secret of success is 40 years. Number one is don't get a divorce.
Okay. Don't get a divorce.
Number two is the famous two words always said by the late, great comedian Jerry Lewis, yes, dear. That's number two.
Okay.
And number three, try to share the same interests.
I like that. Very nice.
And we have a few that we share, but pro wrestling, sports entertainment is not one of them.
Indeed.
She loves it. No, of course, I adore it.
Very nice. Awesome. All right. Well, happy anniversary.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's cool.
All right.
Also, one other thing I wanted to discuss, and I don't want to bring anything down, but superstar Billy Graham is on life support.
Yes.
I read this, and I go back to the beginning of his career, both as a professional in the media business and as a friend of his. And his wife, Valerie, has refused to take him off of life support and asking for our prayers. So please keep. I used to love when he feuded with Dusty Rhodes, and Dusty Rhodes would say, "Boogieing down Broadway with superstar Billy Graham, if you will."
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good Dusty impression.
What a great man. And people like Hulk Hogan, Austin Idol,
Scott Steiner,
all followed in his footsteps. They used him as a role model. So, great man. So let's throw some prayers out there.
Indeed. Superstar Graham was definitely a template for a lot of wrestlers.
Oh yeah,
following him for sure. Yeah,
yes.
That blonde hair type of mustache.
Oh yeah, but they should have kept him. They should have kept him as WWF champion way back when. They took the belt off him too quickly and brought the other guys in there. But I think Graham, he was one of the first guys, like the Road Warriors. He was one of these heels that you loved to love hating.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Very, very cocky, macho. Like he was just kind of like a better than you. And he looked the part too.
Oh, yes. And he loved to pose for me.
Yes.
Like George Napolitano and the other photographers, he would stand there for hours.
Of course.
I took that iconic shot that's all over the internet from Inside Wrestling Magazine with him standing on a garbage can in Times Square flexing.
Okay.
And I'm sure all of you have seen that, and if not, look it up after the show.
Very nice. Yes, that was definitely a very iconic photo. I've got an exclusive. Actually, I got some connections backstage in WWE, and I was wondering the status of Drew McIntyre's contract. Yeah. And so I'm going to break some news here in just a moment. Before I do that, let's go to the first unscripted question. We got, let's see here. To Bill Apter, what would you say inspired you to become a wrestling journalist? And what's the best advice you can give me for when I interview wrestlers? I'm actually a
okay. Well, part two of that, when you interview wrestlers, be respectful. Okay. The worst thing you can do is ask some of these outlandish backstage type of questions, who told you to do this? Be respectful, talk about their career, try kind of stay away from their personal lives, but go with the storylines. I always did that. And then you can go off a little bit if you feel they're comfortable with it. And then part one, why did I become like a reporter, journalist, photographer? Because my parents said being a wrestler was not a good job for me. When I was back at 120 pounds, little skinny Billy Apter, who wanted to be Nature Boy Buddy Rogers, Antonino Rocca, and so many of my other heroes. It's all in my book, or the audio book is Wrestling Fixed, Chris?
I never knew that it was broken.
Yeah, that's right. But you can get there. But great question. Thank you so much for asking.
Yes, indeed. Awesome sauce. Awesome. All right, so let's see here. Will Cody Rhodes go through hard times over next year, just like his dad did hard times before he win titles from Roman at next year's WrestleMania? What do you think about that, man? The
Oh,
rumors of Cody and
listen,
Roman at WrestleMania 40.
I think
Man.
that Brock Lesnar at Night of Champions is going to destroy Cody Rhodes.
Yeah,
And it's going to send Cody Rhodes into a funk
yeah,
like he's never been before. And baby, it's going to be hard times for
yeah,
my little boy Cody Rhodes, if you will.
yeah.
Um, I think that he's out of the title picture currently for a while, but I'm not missing the title run for him. I'm not him chasing the title. His interviews, like this past Monday night, were incredible. His Brock Lesnar interviews. He's really gotten good, and he reminds me so much. It's like his father has morphed into him.
Mm.
But I think he's going to go through hard times, and I think he's going to be, like I said, in a real funk. And I think like he cannot fairly beat Brock Lesnar at Night of Champions, in my estimation. It just can't happen. They can't bring Lesnar to be weakened by Cody Rhodes.
I think Brock Lesnar is going to utterly destroy Cody at
Yeah.
Night of Champions, and that's going to take him away for a while. And I think they're going to run it back at SummerSlam.
Yeah,
for
I
the-
think so too.
For the trilogy. Yep.
Third time is the charm.
Indeed. Yep. I think Cody's going to beat Brock at SummerSlam, but Brock is going to beat Cody at Night of Champions. So
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. Let's see here. We
It's
got
going to be torture for Cody.
it's going to be hard times, baby. Hard times.
Yeah, it's going to be Suplex City.
Indeed. It's probably going to be some bloodshed. It's going to be just a mangling. It's going to be a dismantling, if you will. Yes.
Yeah.
What's up with John Cena is returning at this year's SummerSlam? So John Cena is reportedly just tapped out as far as just his body when it comes to wrestling. He said he doesn't know. He doesn't think he can go again.
Yeah.
Bill, what do you think about potentially his last match in his storied career being against Austin Theory, opening up WrestleMania 39? Do you think that that's a send-off, a proper send-off for Cena?
No, absolutely not. I don't. I was watching, and I know that Nick Lombardi, one of our reporters, was there at the 92nd Street Y in New York City yesterday. He'll have a full report. That was Monday night. And John Cena did say that at that point in that match, he did think that he put in, a performance that his body could take, but he just doesn't want to shortchange people and give not the best performance. But I think it's going to be like a Rocky comeback. I think he's going to have one more match. I don't know against who, and he might not win, but I think his athletic performance in the ring will be better than Austin Theory. I don't think the Austin Theory match was his swan song.
I agree. So if he were to come back one more time and push through it to do a proper send-off and wrestle at WrestleMania 40, out of anyone who's there now, if Bill Apter had the books, who would Bill Apter book against John Cena at WrestleMania 44?
That's a great question that I'd love to answer. My knee-jerk reaction was Gunther.
Oh,
yeah, it would be a tough match, but that was my knee-jerk one. But I'd love to see him against someone on the level of a Damian Priest. I think Damian Priest and he would be an excellent match. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm hoping that by 40, Priest is a babyface, because I think he's a bit miscast right now. I think the early Judgment Day was a way to revive him a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that he's a star in the making, man. I really do.
Yeah, he's in the lineage of Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins.
I like Priest. I think he's got a ton of potential. As a heel right now, I think that it was good to revive his career, but I do think I see a lot of money on the table when it comes to Priest as a babyface, as a top level babyface.
Yeah.
I think I like the Gunther idea.
No, too tough for Cena in terms of
the only
chops
thing
and
is,
everything. So.
yeah, the only thing with that is that I just don't see. I don't see a proper storyline minus just a couple of just Cena lines and cutting a promo, kind of emasculating Gunther. I mean, it's just the run of the mill Cena lines that just really won't have a lot of feeling toward it. I actually wouldn't mind a heel Drew versus John Cena.
I was going to say Drew.
Yeah.
Also, but I could see him with Damian Priest as the perfect opponent in my mind. I saw Damian Priest back in the Monster Factory days, and I kind of picked him to be a superstar one day. So I still think that's going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I think there are some reports that WWE, back execs, they see him pretty high on the he's ascending higher on the list, if you will, baby.
Yes, baby. This is our Dusty imitation night, baby.
Yes, indeed. Dusty
Rhodes brothers.
Yes, indeed, baby. He's starting to get to the pay window, if you will.
That's it, baby.
I like Cena Drew, man. No, I like Cena Drew. I think if you want to do a send off and help someone, it's going to be Drew. We've already seen Cena Roman. No need to do that. I think. What about Cena? What about Cena Cody? What do you think about that? A heel Cody versus John Cena?
Yeah, doesn't throw me. It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
I want Damian Priest
as a heel at 40.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Cena, Damian Priest, just in the ring, electricity.
At Mania?
Anywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be Mania.
Okay.
I think if Cena's going to do another match,
yeah,
Damian Priest would be the guy.
Man, how do you properly make? To me, you got to make it make sense. Matches, I'm old school like you are, man. Matches for matches' sake just doesn't do it for me. It's just you got to bring a story with it. You got to give me some feeling, baby.
There is a story.
What's the story?
Story is that John Cena comes back and he says, "I want to pick the best of the crop, and I understand, one of the young guys coming up here, and I want to test him out. Is this guy Damian Priest? So come and get some."
Yeah, that's man. As far as the story is concerned, I don't want to see another Cena promo. You know what I mean? Like, oh, let me come down and emasculate wrestler X, and then wrestler X gets mad, and then they okay, well, let's do a match, and
So let's bring the movies into this.
Let's do it.
Maybe it's got to be John Cena versus. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Right, maybe John Cena and The Rock. Can you imagine?
Cena Rock again for the third time?
Wait a minute. It's going to be in WrestleMania is going to be in Philadelphia.
Philly, yes, indeed. Bring us someone from ECW. If there was one ECW person that you would have go against John Cena,
who
would it be?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Someone who's left from there?
Yeah, someone who's left from ECW.
Oh my goodness. They're all still working. My God, it would probably Tommy Dreamer is the most active of all of them.
Rey Mysterio is. He's an ECW.
But I've seen a Rey Mysterio doesn't do it for me.
No, not me either. Jericho's an ECW alum.
Yeah, but he's
an AEW. Yeah. Who else is AEW? Taz, he's commentating.
Right.
Sandman, he's doing indie shows.
Yeah, but not for John Cena.
No, I don't think Sandman and Cena works though.
No, definitely. No. Little Guido, no.
I mean, hey,
Blue Meanie.
Blue Meanie.
Yeah. He lives in Philly too. They don't pay any trans.
Very nice. RVD? Cena RVD?
Oh yeah. You know what? You just hit it for me.
Okay.
RVD John Cena.
RVD Cena in Philly.
Why not?
I wouldn't be opposed to that actually in Philly if you want to do anything.
Priest.
I know. I could tell that Bill Apter really wants Damian Priest versus John Cena. All right, let's do.
Can you just see the headlines if they make Damian champion of the world one day, and they say they have a priest as the champion.
That's perfect. I think
Yeah,
that's perfect. I think that he's going to win the world championship sooner. I would say, what do you think? Over under the next 2 years? Over under?
yeah, over. I mean,
Over 2 years? So over
no, I'd
under.
say
Okay.
less than two
Over.
years.
Okay.
But I think that Seth Rollins has to win at Night of Champions. I really do. I love
Okay. Tell me
AJ. I
more.
think AJ is a great wrestler, old school wrestler. But I think that Seth Rollins needs to be back in that prime spot to go against, somehow make it happen, former Shield member again, Roman Reigns. I think this. I think people still want to see that.
In the 2.5 years that Roman Reigns has been champion, almost 3 years actually. It'll be 3 years in August. Out of the nearly 3 years that Roman Reigns has been champion, and his path to destruction, Seth Rollins is not included in that path of
Yeah,
destruction.
that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's why it has to happen.
yeah. So that there's some
You
there's
heard
some
that right here on Unscripted,
indeed,
exclusively.
indeed. Speaking of exclusive, I got an
Yes.
exclusive for you regarding Drew McIntyre. So this is what someone from the WWE backstage told me regarding the status of Drew McIntyre's contract. So basically, they can tell me that he has not signed anything new despite any of the reports that is going on as far as his signing. So the latest is that there has been no new contract signings of Drew McIntyre, despite going and being drafted the Raw, despite all the all the
Yeah.
advertisement of him. I can tell you exclusively, I can confirm that there has been no new contract signed by Drew McIntyre. So,
I'm glad you. I still don't think, and I mentioned it earlier, that he's going anywhere. I don't. He's too valuable of a commodity to let out there.
mm, yeah, I think that Drew McIntyre knows how to brand himself. He knows how to do a really good job that doing that. As a matter of fact, that's primarily the reason why he came back to WWE, because he was able to be Drew Galloway, go to TNA, have a really good TNA run, do some work in the UK and Europe, and really carve his own brand. And that became so big. He became super big in the Indies and super big in TNA, that the WWE saw that and brought him back. And so I don't see anything different. If he were to leave WWE, he'd carve his brand again and be very very hot, commodity again. So
Yeah, but and
Drew's
you
one of those
see him.
people. Drew's one of those people that won't hurt from leaving WWE. There's a lot of people that are so caught up in the WWE machine that
Yeah,
if they left, you know what I mean? Like it'll be really tough to really scrape these indie dates and do all the pressure, do all the booking themselves and things like
yeah.
that. But I don't see Drew having that much of an issue if he were to leave.
I think it would be. I think one of the main reasons, whether they say so or not, and they're not going to, is to keep him guessing or keep him under contract. Is Wembley Stadium. Can
Mm.
you imagine that if they announced CM Punk coming back onto there
Mm.
and also Drew McIntyre?
Would you be in for CM Punk versus Drew at Wembley?
Absolutely. Oh my God, what a
That'd be
main
interesting.
event.
That would be really interesting.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
much.
What would the finish be?
I would do a straight, clean Claymore from Drew onto a heel Punk.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, leave him.
But I
Leave.
think the fans, even though, Drew would probably be uh, the baby face there, I still think the fans still have that craziness over. I don't know exactly. I can't put into words what it is, but there's something about CM Punk that they want to see him and they want to see him on top.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that it's easy though. CM Punk, he has the gift of gab. just like that ROH promo when he turned heel and just a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
I think CM Punk has that ability to just boom, just like that, just one promo, just get the whole crowd booing him like crazy. And I think that if there's a few people that have that ability to really turn the crowd over, MJF is one of those people too. I think CM Punk still has it, on the stick
Yes,
to
I
be able
agree.
to turn the crowd around. And I think that would actually help the him and Drew match, because Drew's decent on the mic, but he's a machine, he's an animal. So that's his stick, is that he's just a machine, just a fighting machine.
Oh yeah.
I think if he comes in as a babyface doing that, and CM Punk is already going to have that type of heel heat, and I think it would be a really cool main event if Drew gets the win at the end of that.
So let's talk about what the heck's going on with the bloodline at this point.
Indeed.
Roman Reigns and Solo now going after the tag team championships, KO and Sami Zayn, who's going to go to Saudi Arabia. And the Usos kind of left out at this point in terms of title and all that. Now, people had asked me what happens if Solo and Roman Reigns win the belts when Roman's got both titles. So back in the old school days, he'd have to give up something.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think?
If I had the books, Bill, I would stir it up, man. I think there needs to be some stir ups, and I think there needs to be some unpredictability that cause people to want more. Like back in the day, the heels would get a lot of heat, and then at the payoff would be the baby's turn to get the one up, right? Yeah. And so I just really, to me, I think there's been a big plunge with KO and Zayn. I think that they I mean, no fault of their own, but I do think the booking and the writing and the creative has really plummeted their momentum over the past month. Yeah, I mean, it's just been kind of like it just the feverish reactions that KO and Sami got during the bloodline building up to WrestleMania it's not the same at all to me.
Not the same.
Yeah, I think.
Do you think that KO is a little, let's say, jealous that he comes out first with the belts and to a really good pop, but then the arena erupts, absolutely erupts when Sami comes out? Do you think there's any legitimate, not hatred or anything like this, but inside him that he's feeling like, unbelievable, I can't believe that this guy's getting that pop I should be getting?
Legitimate, I don't think so. I mean, they've known each other for 20 years and been, in indies and stuff like that. And KO's been world champ before. Sammy's never been world champ, you know what I mean? So he was universal champ. So,
I just look at him, before Sami comes out. It's like
what I hope they don't do is do another turn angle where I'm tired of KO Sami against each other. We've seen so many iterations of that I want to see it. So
me too.
Regarding your question, though, I do think that, again, I would stir it up. I would have Roman Solo win because I think that can lead up to the Usos versus Roman and Solo at SummerSlam, you know what I mean, or Money in the Bank. I would save it to a bigger stage. Plus, that allows Roman not to have that marquee title match, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think I would be okay with as far as the he doesn't have to defend the world titles at SummerSlam, but it would make sense if he was. So I think that's where you probably do Money in the Bank, for Roman and Solo against the Usos. I mean, if you want to drag it, there's Survivor Series in November, but I think eventually somewhere this year it would make sense to see the Usos versus Roman and Solo.
Totally agree. Well, let me ask you another question now. That the NXT talent that was drafted, we saw some of them on Raw Monday night. Did you feel a decent sense of identification with them, or they were like, who are these people?
I think they didn't do a good job with really causing them to stand out. I was talking about that on the post-Raw show. I think they could have had an opportunity for JD McDonough to look legit, but it doesn't make sense that you do the vignette, the kind of creepy, dark vignette that I actually liked. You do it after he was just a normal guy who got eliminated in a random number one contender battle royal, and he got eliminated early. So that just didn't really help his character already.
Yeah, I was hoping that Otis or
Jack Gable.
no, that Otis would win, or
Oh,
yeah,
you were hoping that Otis
who's
or
going to win the battle royal?
Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed or Otis.
Yeah.
They should have been the last two guys, and I think Bronson Reed should have gone over.
The only thing, man, is that I'm still really big on faces and heels, and I think that's you've got Bronson Reed, who's a big heel, Gunther, who's a big heel. You know who's going to get cheered.
I love those. I love heel versus heel.
Oh, I can't stand heel versus heel. I just there's just
differ.
Yeah, there's just no like if you think about it, this is all about like wrestling is comic book come to life, man. So it's like if there's like the Joker versus the Riddler, I'm like beat each other up. You know what I mean? Like I don't like either one of you. Like just beat each other to a pulp. Like I'm cheering for the both of you to beat each other up, and because I don't want either of you to win. So I think it's just that you need the hero, man. You need someone who the little kids, baby, can latch on to.
Well,
because
we all have individual tastes, and I remember back in the day when Bruno Sammartino wrestled Pedro Morales at Shea Stadium, and I asked the Grand Wizard of Wrestling, what he says, I hope they will both destroy themselves. Same thing you just said.
Yes, indeed. Very nice. Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Well, we're going to close up for that, and that is good enough. All right. So you got anything to promote for us before?
Well, I'm always promoting you people subscribing.
Yes.
To Sportskeeda Wrestling. To Binge.
We just crossed the milestone, didn't we, for the Sportskeeda Wrestling channel, 50,000 YouTube subs.
I heard that.
Yeah, Sportskeeda Wrestling.
Make sure you subscribe to Sportskeeda Wrestle Binge on YouTube, also to Sportskeeda Wrestling on YouTube, and check in with sportskeedawrestling.com every few minutes.
Oh yeah.
Stick away from that boss, because we get breaking stories all the time, and you'll never believe some of the things that some of the people we talk to say only to Sportskeeda.
Indeed. Yeah. Speaking of Sportskeeda, you got a breaking exclusive news here on this show tonight. So this is the reason why you have to pay attention to UnSKripted, because there might be something breaking that you get occasionally, and you have the opportunity to create the topics as well. Bill and I just have a fun time, and it makes it so easy. It's you make this job so easy for me, Bill.
Well, likewise, and tell your friends about this, everybody, or tell your enemies, anybody you know.
Indeed, just bring them all in.
Yeah.
Bill Apter, Dr. Chris,
Dr. Chris.
Indeed. Yeah,
Indeed.
there we go.
And we'll see you at the matches.